that the people who do the hat on in the weird direction and they're right up there with the people who do the weird lip piercing, which is they're fucking with you. Like, it's antisocial. First off, it's saying, here's how most people wear their hat. I don't wear my hat that way. I wear it in a super uncomfortable, unattractive way that does nothing for me, and it shades the side of my neck. It does not keep the sun out of my eyes. It doesn't keep the hair out of my face. I will fuck myself up. It's right up there with I wear my pants somewhere around mid-crack line, like about half ass crack mass, like my balls died and my pants are flying at half crack. Like, first off, you think it's comfortable to wear pants that are around your fucking hips?
How can you even walk like that?
If a fucking car came around a corner, you'd get run over, and I'd be the first one cheering, by the way. Yeah. No, it's not comfortable to wear your hat. I wear ball caps all the time. They're sort of shaped to fit your head, which does kind of have a direction to it. It's
not just sort of.
Yeah, it's not a beach ball. It's got a little shape to it. And the hats and the caps are made. When you pull them sideways, it's kind of like wearing, it's like wearing underpants where you're going to, stick a leg through where the waist would go and put the leg up around your waist. Like, it's fucking uncomfortable. Now, that's uncomfortable. Also, having multiple hoops through your lower lip. I do not believe aids in your eating, lovemaking, your speech and debate class. It does not help you get a job.
Yeah,
it doesn't help you do anything.
Could help with ziplining.
It's a very subtle way and not so subtle way of going, fuck you. I'm uncomfortable. I want you to feel my discomfort. I want you to feel discomfort. This hat, it's an apparel equivalent to you having a booger that's going in and out of your nose as you laugh like a piston, or you having a piece of broccoli on your front tooth. It's fucking me up. And I know, but the broccoli and the booger you're unaware of. The hat you're in charge of. And you know what you're saying. It's antisocial. It's fuck you. And the lip thing, it's forcing me to go, ow, that looks like it hurts. And then I have to do what if that got caught on something? And then I do that, what if you're eating one of those little mini chops, those little lamb chops? It's like appetizer, you get sauté. You get the sauté spear, and it like somehow goes through there, and it pulled away or something. Or
I'd actually managed to never think about that. But now I feel yucky.
Now you're forced to.
Yeah.
Right. This is an antisocial, fuck you, think about me, and this. And there's a million versions of it. There's a million. There's a tattoo version of it. There's a piercing version of it.
There's a hair color version.
I'm going to wear my hat. I'm going to wear my hair. I'm going to take the fucking baffles out of the pipes of my Harley so you can hear me. There's a hear me, look at me, see me, feel me thing. And my thing is, just fuck off.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
This program is intended for mature audiences only. If you have any homicidal or suicidal feelings, please consult a doctor before listening to this program.
Well, whatever you're going to do, you go ahead and do it. I've got a very, very, very serious situation down here in the HTLA Studio 2 right now. I'm actually on the air live at 3 p.m. Eastern for your coffee and cigarettes, and I don't have any coffee yet. Yeah, somebody's getting fired today, that's for sure. So much on the show today. Yeah, it's going to take 4 hours just to get through it all, so keep the coffee coming there, Missy. First, well, that co-pilot in the Alps crash was not on a terror watch list. Like that would have anything to do with anything. And there's a few outside groups trying to make a big push in the Ferguson elections. Well, also the USA drops a big fat propaganda bomb on ISIL. Yes, the freezer mom is held on a $1 million bail bond. Yes, $1 million in the alleged abuse of her kids in her freezer. Yes, we told you about that yesterday. And as if that weren't enough, Bill Gates and Ben Affleck want to keep on sending your tax dollars to Africa. as Beheaded Baby Mom, of course, pleads not guilty. All that and so much more on today's show with Jenny and our 3 Terminator guest hosts, of course. So come on in and grab a cup, have a seat, and light one up. And somebody better get me some coffee, like now. It's coffee time. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it may be to you. Right now, it is 3:02 p.m. Eastern in New York City. You've, of course, got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. And yours truly here, Chris Crash G's, is with you on the Thursday Double. Coffee and Cigarettes Thursday Double. Yes, that is what we're doing here today. And, of course, a reminder that today's Coffee and Cigarettes is, as always, brought to you by the fine folks at Tim Hortons, New York City. Now with 8 fine locations in that city to serve all of your coffee and baked goods needs. And by PreSonus, yes, the 24/42 digital mixer we use here in the broadcast studio is absolutely sensational, and I highly recommend them. Go check them out, PreSonus.com. There you go. Now that I've got that out of the way, I also have to remind you that today's show is
powered by Procast.
Oh, God, turn those damn headphones off. Well, it's good to be here today on the Thursday Double, the second show back from our cancellation. Yes, we got canceled because of cigarettes, if you can believe that crap. But, yeah, the fans, the listeners, the you out there, you have brought the show back, so it's here whether anybody likes it or not. And yeah, that's the way it is. So it's very good to be here today, and of course we've got Jenny in the booth, pushing the buttons with the music, making the show go, as it were. There she is in the booth. Say hi. Yeah, there you go. And of course, we're joined as always by 3 guest/host/terminators. And if you're a new listener to the show, one of the 247 million currently on iHeart every month, then you probably don't know it, but we do have the Terminator in the house, as well as his 2 apprentice Terminators. First off, all the way from Mill Bay Studios in beautiful Mill Bay, British Columbia, Canada, is the one, the only Louis Lawless of LDL Films. Filmmaker extraordinaire, 35-plus years working at Stephen J. Cannell, doing all kinds of TV, Riptide, A-Team. Man, you name it, he's done it. And now he's up there in Canada, hiding in the trees, making documentaries, is the one, the only Louis Lawless. Louis, are you there?
Can you give me any help for $25,000? If I go a half an hour, do I get $50,000?
Well, I'll tell you what. I won't, but feel free to fleece the other guest/host/terminators.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yes, but that information isn't for me, Louis. You need to ask them.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
All right, well, moving on. All the way from, well, it's not all the way. It's just down the street a couple of blocks, but yes. There he is, the one, the only Gilbert Gottfried, joining us from his sprawling apartment in Manhattan. Yeah.
You know, I'm the most talented guy in this room.
Yeah,
what the fuck?
I bet. I bet you are.
I'm ready.
You're ready?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. And also joining us from his luxurious, sprawling residence out there somewhere in Southern California.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one, the only Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold, welcome to the show.
I'm not going to complain about it, right?
Well, you could, but would it do any good? You know? Yeah. I don't think it would.
Never. No.
Well, anyway, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here, as always.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. You bet. And as per the contractual agreement with Gilbert, of all people. Yes, not Arnold Schwarzenegger, not Louis Lawless. No. No, per contractual agreement with Gilbert Gottfried, of course, we need to take a little time out for him to sing. So, Gilbert, please take it away.
Na, 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 na. Ba, ma, 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 ma. Oh, yeah. Who wants to grow up? Who wants responsibility? Oh, no, not me. Who wants to show up and work until you're 93? Now everybody says you're running wild. The teacher's calling you a problem. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. That would be a problem child. Yeah. Yes, thank you, Gilbert. That was wonderful.
Yes,
something like that. Yeah, and I, just to kind of get into a little bit more with Arnold here, because you're stealing the show with the song there, Gilbert. Yeah. But to be fair, let's talk to Arnold a little bit about. I think we mentioned yesterday his best roles. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. What? I don't know. What about your? How do you feel about your failed films, Arnold?
I would say that it was several movies that failed.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, I have to say that I did not regret making any of them. Because at the time they all sounded good. At the time to me they all seemed like they were great career moves. Mm-hmm. It's always easy to be smart in hindsight and to look back and say, that was a mistake. But it doesn't help you. I mean, I think the important thing really is to learn from those mistakes and then to move forward in a better way and in a smarter way. Because to me, life is short and you want to pack in as much as you can while you live rather than just exist.
Yeah. Well, I got to say that Hercules thing, that was just wrong. Yeah.
I mean, you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that, it would be all over the place.
Well, I say it because it's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, we got a lot of stories to get to today, so I guess without further ado, I'd better be getting to them. First up on the old hit parade this afternoon at Coffee and Cigarettes is, of course, the co-pilot in the Alps crash was apparently not on a terror watch list. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, the co-pilot of the German Wings airliner accused of intentionally crashing the jet into the Alps on Tuesday was a young man with a passion for flying who was described as happy with his job as recently as this past fall. It's not like he's flying it into the Empire State or something. He crashed into some mountains out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, Peter Rucker, a member of the LSC Westerwald Glider Club, watched Andreas Lubitz, 28, learn to fly as a teenager. He told the Associated Press Lubitz showed no signs of depression when he saw him in the fall, and he renewed his glider pilot's license. Quote, he was happy he had the job with the German Wings and he was doing well, Rucker said. He gave off a good feeling. Marcel prosecutor Bryce Robin said Lubitz, a German citizen, was not on any terrorist watch list before German Wings Flight 9525 was taken into an 8-minute descent, smashing into the mountains Tuesday and killing all 150 aboard. Lubitz locked the pilot out of the cockpit and deliberately worked to destroy the plane, said Robin, who would divulge any information on Lubitz's religion or ethnic background. Karsten Spohr, CEO of Lufthansa, said there was nothing to cast doubt on Lubitz's compliance or skills, and he had no information about what could have caused the co-pilot to crash the airliner. Quote, we can only speculate what might have been the motivation of the co-pilot, he said at the news conference in Cologne, Germany. In a company that prides itself on its safety record, this is a shock. We select cockpit personnel very, very carefully.
I think you have sharks in both tanks.
Yes.
Yeah, you do, I'm sure. Well, Lufthansa, the parent company of German Wings, the company does annual medical checks, of course, but does not require psychological assessments after training, Spohr said. It's a good thing they don't do it in radio. Well, Spoor stopped short of calling the crash a suicide mission as an act of terror if one person kills himself and 149 other people. A word other than suicide should be used, he said. Rucker said Lubitz was a rather quiet but friendly young man when he first came to the aviation club when he was 14 or 15. Andreas became a member of the club as a youth to fulfill his dream of flying, the club said in a statement on its website released before the latest developments. He fulfilled his dream, the dream he now paid for so dearly with his life. Klaus Radke, chairman of the club, told German newspaper Rhein Zeitung that he met Lubitz a couple of times. Did I pronounce that right, Arnold?
Yeah.
Okay. I got to know him. He was very nice, funny, polite person, Radke said. Adding, it will take some time to understand what really happened. We shouldn't jump to delusions. Yes. Or whatever, conclusions. Lubitz began training in Bremen, Germany in 2008 and later on in Arizona, Spoor said. He joined German Wings in September of 2013, directly after training, and had flown 630 hours before Tuesday's crash. Spoor said that there was a brief interruption in his training in 2009, but that he had completed qualifications for the job. Such a break is not unusual, but the company will be looking into what happened during that time, Spoor added. Friends of Lubitz told German magazine Der Spiegel he took time off for depression and burnout. He passed all medical tests, he passed all aviation tests, he passed all checks, Spoor said. He was 100% able to fly without any limitations and really knew what he was doing when he smashed into the mountain. There you go. Yeah. The captain, who has been identified as Patrick Sonnerheimer by multiple media outlets, has had more than 6,000 hours of flying time and had been with German Wings since May 2014. He previously flew for Lufthansa and Condor, and they say that he would have known that it wouldn't be a smart thing to do to fly into mountains. There you go. Yeah. It is this fact, combined with the fact that the co-pilot locked him out of the cockpit, that qualifies it as a terrorist act.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your latest word on the co-pilot there and the lovely crash in the Alps that, nobody really except for the 150 passengers' families care about. Yeah.
We are enjoying him also in a movie that is a comedy, not just to blow up the buildings and the people and all those kind of things.
Blow up the buildings and the people.
Yeah.
Well, I would. I mean, you got to know when to say when.
I speak my mind all the time, and they may like it, but then I know that as a whole, I have done a great job.
Oh yeah, you have, but people don't tell you that, do they?
Never. No.
Yes.
I figured it was something like that. Well, moving on to the big program this afternoon, our next story comes to us from Ferguson, Missouri, of course. Outside groups are making a big push in Ferguson on their election. A political group that helped elect Mayor Bill de Blasio in New York is joining forces with one of America's biggest unions and other black activists to campaign on behalf of two candidates running for city council in next month's election in Ferguson, Missouri. The Service Employees International Union tells USA Today it will join the progressive group Working Families Party, an activist from an organization for black struggle, and Missourians organizing and reform and empowerment to help get out the vote for two candidates running for city council that they say they can best help Ferguson move forward. The Organization for Black Struggle and Missourians, of course, is the folks who are selling all the shoes on eBay.
Yeah. I think you have sharks in both tanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely there. Well, the April 7th election comes just 2 weeks after the Justice.
Get to the chopper.
Yes, sorry. The April 7th election comes just 2 weeks after the Justice Department issued its report outlining endemic problems with the racial bias in how Ferguson's police department and municipal court went about its business. Ferguson has been under the microscope since the killing of Michael Brown, an unarmed black teenager clamoring for cops' guns.
Yeah.
That's they always throw that out,
Yes.
They don't include that. No.
Yeah.
By white police officers after having his gun taken. Yeah. No, we're not going to do that again, are we? That was a question, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There we go. Well, of course, Ferguson has been under that microscope since the killing of Michael Brown, an unarmed black teenager, by a white police officer last August, which ignited months of demonstrations and burnt down shoe stores. Our purpose is to back candidates that are aware of the issues that were brought up in the Department of Justice's report, and we're willing to take them on, says Jake Olson, executive director of the SIEU's Missouri-Kansas State Council. It's not only important for Ferguson, but it could be the beginning of the grassroots folks in this region that are trying to take on these issues of, black men grabbing policemen's guns and then wondering why they're dead. Yeah. Well, the coalition plans to knock on the doors of 5,000 Ferguson residents living in 2 of the city's wards on behalf of candidates Lee Smith, a retiree and a longtime Ferguson resident, and Bob Hudgens, who had been active in the protest movement since shortly after Brown's killing. The coalition, which was spearheaded by the Working Families Party, also plans on running phone banks to try and reach out to voters and tout the candidates. WFP is perhaps best known for helping lift New Yorkers de Blasio's insurgent campaign in 2013. This is about restoring justice and police accountability in Ferguson. Yeah. Well, I would submit that it's also about teaching black kids to leave cops' guns alone. Yeah.
I mean, you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that, it would be all over.
Yeah, you'd be screwed, my friend. Yeah. Well, the amount of attention being poured into the council races in this town of about 21,000 is unusual, and the coalition's effort could be meaningful in contests that are typically decided by several hundred voters. The election has the potential to reshape the city's political landscape, where only 1 of 6 members in the current city council are black, despite the city being about 68% black. The lone incumbent black council member is not up for re-election during this cycle. All 3 incumbents up for re-election chose not to run for another term. Quote, "We're getting out of Dodge." Yeah. Well, Smith is facing Wesley Bell to represent Ferguson's Ward 3, an area that includes the neighborhood where Brown lived and was at the center of the unrest. Both candidates are black, assuring that African-American representation will at least be double on the council. What the next 2 weeks is going to look like is us working to increase black voter turnout, says Christine Asifa, a black organizer. Yeah. With the Organization for, well, of course, Black Struggle. Yeah. We are really excited about the opportunity to get people out to vote and make city council more reflective of the population of motherfucking Ferguson. Yeah. Hudgens, who has been a fierce critic of the Ferguson government, is facing off against former Mayor Brian Fletcher, who started an I Love Ferguson campaign in the midst of last year's protest to counter the negative attention the city was getting. Both candidates in the second ward race are white, so it doesn't frickin' matter. Yeah. Bob Hudgens is really the people's candidate, Asifa said. Since August 9th, he's been standing side by side Ferguson residents and Jesse Jackson. Yeah. Yes, and as we all know, Jesse Jackson is just out for himself.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the coalition opted to formally endorse a candidate in the Ward 1 race, where 4 candidates are vying for the seat. Asifa said that coalition preferred Ella Jones, but the candidate declined their help, citing, "I ain't need you." Jones, whose late husband was a 30-year member of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, stressed that she is, quote, very pro-union, she said. She declined the endorsement and campaign help because she was presented to her as being solely from the Organization for Black Struggle, citing, I'm white. Had she known the SEIU was involved, Jones said she would have accepted the endorsement. I am a union person, said Jones, who began planning a run for office more than 2 years ago. I just wanted my campaign to be about the work I do and from the people who know. I just wanted to be independent of that. I don't want anybody getting any cloudy ideas that I'd grab a cop's gun. Yeah. Well, Mayor James Knowles said in a recent USA Today interview that the city would wait until the new council members are seated after the election to pick a city manager. The city manager, of course, is charged with hiring a new black police chief. Yeah. Well, there you go. So that's the first segment here on Coffee and Cigarettes for the Thursday Doubles. So we're going to go for our first commercial break. But don't you go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to tell you about the mom held on a $1 million bail bond in the alleged abuse of her dead kids in the freezer. Yeah. It's abuse, officer. It's not murder. We'll be back in 2.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions? Abundant with rich, fertile soil. What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed, ensuring maximum flavor and freshness, then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it? Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonneville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow, that's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Monton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, Nunavut. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the Egyptian cotton towels. Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York. Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other, to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out, we never style, we never go out of style. Take me out. There's only one place to get more Taylor. We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Well, I think whenever you do greater things, it's unusual. It's strange. It's weird. I mean, there are very few people in the world that does what you do.
Yeah.
If you would have told your parents when you were a kid, that's what I want to do. I'm sure your parents would have said, man, I don't know your parents, but I mean, they would have said, honey, why don't you just go to school and relax?
Yes. That's probably a very, very true story,
You know why, Chris? Because you're such a control freak, you don't want anyone to tell you what to do.
Really? Is that? Yeah? You think so, huh?
No, I don't.
Well, let me tell you something. It's all crazy.
Well, Arnold, it is all crazy, and I gotta agree with you right there. That's pretty nuts.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it is fantastic. It is. Well, hey, welcome back to the big show today. Coffee and Cigarettes Thursday double for this Thursday, the 26th of March, 2015. Where it is 51 degrees right now in New York City in Central Park, and it's cloudy and raining on and off, and that's fine by me. No snow, I am okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Arnold, like you'd know, like you ever get snow. Yeah.
Yes. I think you have sharks in both tanks.
Well, there might be sharks in both tanks, but your weather, pretty frickin' nice.
I'm not going to complain about it, right?
No.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut. Always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's the American. Look how they took the country away from England.
I'm ready.
Well, that's good. That took you long enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to the big show, Coffee and Cigarettes, your Thursday double. And how about that mom we told you about? They found the dead kids in the freezer, huh? Well, she's being held on $1 million bail bond in alleged abuse case, apparently. In Detroit, the mother of those two children were found dead in that freezer earlier this week, of course, was arraigned today on child abuse charges and being held on a $1 million cash or security bond. Michelle Blair, 35, faces 4 counts, of course, of first-degree child abuse and 1 count of committing first-degree child abuse in the presence of course, another child.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Let's figure the math here. If she's got 4 kids, and she should be getting 3 counts of that too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. Just wanted to clarify. I would ask for a very high cash bond, Assistant Wayne County Prosecutor Karen Goldfarb said during the 6-minute hearing. Yeah, you get 6 minutes, make it good.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, she said there remains a possibility that charges will be increased to first-degree murder, and said Blair remains, quote, a danger to this community, and we should move her to Ferguson. Yeah. Well, she might do well in Ferguson grabbing cops' guns because I don't think she's got a hope in hell here.
Yes.
No, not a chance. The children found in the freezer have been identified as Stoney Ann Blair and Stephen Gage Barry. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office said yesterday they were believed to be ages 13 and 9, respectively, at the time of their deaths. If they were alive, Stoney would be 15 years old today and Stephen would be 11. Blair has 2 surviving children, ages 8 and 17, who are staying with a relative because, quote, Mom be nuts. Detroit's 36th District Magistrate Renee McDuffie ordered Blair to have no contact with her surviving children for fear of them not surviving. And some relatives and neighbors are joining at the Martin Luther King Apartments, of course, for a peaceful protest where no police handguns will be grabbed. The charges in this matter, of course, are so heinous, McDuffie said. She entered a not guilty plea on Blair's behalf. Blair, who appeared in a video connection dressed in an orange jail garb, is expected back in court April 2nd for a probable cause hearing, and her preliminary examination is, of course, the psychological one. Is, of course, set for April 9th. Blair admitted to police that she killed her son, then her daughter months later because she believed they had sexually assaulted a child. Well, what a hero! Oh, my God. That woman, you know, her defense is, I'm out saving lives. Well, those kids were discovered in her freezer on Tuesday when Blair was being evicted from her apartment. Well, as the children's frozen bodies were found in a deep freeze at her apartment by the eviction crew, Blair was at another apartment babysitting for a neighbor. Mother of the Year.
Bullshitters, never keep your mouth shut, always hustling, always looking for something to do and putting things together. That's a American. Look how they took the country away from England.
Yeah, absolutely.
I speak my mind all the time, and they may like it, but then I know that as a whole, I have done a great job.
You know, as a whore?
Yes.
I just want to be clear, Arnold. Did you say, I know as a whore?
Yeah. I speak my mind.
No, you don't.
Yes.
No. Yeah. Sure. Wait a minute. Let's divert off the Mother of the Year for a moment, shall we? Yeah. Let's talk about Maria. You know, what's it like to be single, huh?
I'm married. Yeah, I'm not divorced yet.
Oh, well, give it time. Yeah. Here's a hint. Don't bang the maid.
Yes.
Well, okay. After officers arrived at the Martin Luther King Apartments on Tuesday, a woman directed police to the home where Blair was with her 2 children. When police found her, Blair was talking to someone on the phone and was heard telling someone that she was about to be arrested and, quote, they're both dead. I did it. According to police, she was being handcuffed. Blair told police that she is not evil. No. It's not evil at all. No.
Use power. That's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. We see it in every job. It's the same thing.
Well, yeah. I don't think she has a job, Louis. Well, autopsies have not yet, of course, been performed on the bodies because they still haven't found a microwave big enough. Yeah. Well, once the autopsy results come back and further investigation is done, we'll be reevaluating the case for other possible charges, Maria Miller, a spokeswoman for the prosecutor's office, said today. A source familiar with the investigation says that there are signs of physical abuse on Blair's son who was killed, including puncture marks. The alleged facts in the case present examples of why we must be diligent, involved citizens and not just some whack job grabbing a cop's gun. A good way to protect society's children is to be alert and look out for your neighborhood youth. Refuse to look the other way and report what you know when necessary. Even though we are issuing these charges today, this tragic case remains under investigation. Blair's aunt, Angela Gordon, said the discovery at the Blair's home was, quote, that's a total shock. Well, of the children found dead, Gordon, a retired Detroit police child abuse investigator, didn't know what was wrong. Wow, you can spot it on all the white folk, though, can't you? Yeah. Oh, did child abuse be going on here? Did child abuse be going on there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Frickin' hell. Gordon said Blair has been estranged from her family for about 2 years when she cut herself off from them. Gordon said about 18 months ago, Blair contacted her and asked for help with the gas bill. Yeah. I'm estranged from my family. I don't want y'all to know I killed my children, but can you help me with the gas bill? Arnold, what would you say if, well, by some freak of DNA, you were actually related to this woman and she called you up to help you with the gas bill? Would you do it?
Never, no.
No? How about you, Gilbert? You'd do it, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Why don't I believe you? Right. Okay, well, Gordon said that Blair was very, very strict with her children, who she said have marks all over their bodies. She said that the children had been enrolled in school, but Blair reportedly took them out about 2 years ago to homeschool them so she could get a laptop. Yeah. Well, Detroit Public Schools on Tuesday said one of Blair's children were enrolled at the district. They said today that they cannot disclose the facts that are part of the children's educational record without consent because of privacy laws. It's not like you can just go grab some cop's gun, you know. Alexander Dorsey said he has 2 daughters with Blair. He said his children, whom he hasn't seen in a couple of years, were, quote, good kids. They dig what the motherfucking mother told them to do. Yeah. Well, Sherry Lehner, 40 years old, said that on Tuesday morning Blair had asked a friend if she could stay at her place with her children because she was being evicted and didn't want her kids to see it, Lanier recalled. The mother of the baby being babysat allowed her to stay in her apartment. Lanier said that once she learned Blair was watching a baby belonging to Lanier's daughter's friend, she quickly went over. Blair, whose 2 surviving children were with her at the time, acted normal and wasn't agitated when she arrived. Quote, I knocked on the door, she answered, and I got the baby and dropped the baby off at the grandmother's house, Lanier said. Then I came back around and went and got the police officer because she was covered in blood and ice chips. Yeah. One of the girls was yelling at her saying, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I guess that's what Officer Wilson was yelling when why would you grab my gun? Well, moving on today, it doesn't end there for Mom of the Year awards. No, we've got another one here that's right up at the top of the list. It could be, you know what it's going to probably come down to? It's probably going to come down to a Facebook vote.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so, because, we all matter. Well, Mom pleads not guilty, of course, to the charge of beheading her daughter. Yes. A young mother accused of beheading her 3-month-old daughter entered a not guilty plea in court today. Are you guys ready for this? Here we go. Daisa Watkins, 20 years old, of Cincinnati, appeared in Hamilton County Common Pleas Court, but spoke only to her lawyer in a hushed voice and kept her gaze down. White Judge Charles Kubicki increased her bond to $5 million from a mere $1 million in the aggravated murder case and ordered her to return to motherfucking jail. A competency hearing is the next step, Kubicki said. The Justice Center can simply not take care of her, her defense lawyer said. She is too sick. Yes, so I guess the old not guilty by reason of blackety.
Yes.
Well, she will be transferred to Twin Valley Behavioral Health Care Facility in Columbus, Ohio, for a psychological evaluation, Kubicki said. Watkins was arrested March 16th after police responding to a 911 call found Jania Watkins decapitated in the kitchen counter in the home of an aunt who was caring for her temporarily. The baby had been stabbed multiple times with a large chef's knife, authorities say. Jania, who had a fractured arm, and the knife had been placed in her hand. Police said the elder Watkins appeared to be suffering from serious mental issues when police found her covered in blood in a bed at the aunt's home. Prosecutor says they won't seek the death penalty unless pushed. Oh, and we're going to push. Yeah. Well, the county welfare agency followed court orders, in finding a relative to care for the baby and checking on her numerous times, prosecutors said, but social workers didn't know the mother apparently moved into the aunt's home about a week before the killing. Court documents also show that Watkins was diagnosed with postpartum psychosis. Yeah, not just depression, psychosis. Just days before, and of course was not taking the medication. Yeah. So there she goes. She's done and out of there. It's all over, baby. It's done. She's not going to be cooking on all. I got to put this in the right perspective here. She's not going to be looting the Nike shoe stores anytime soon. There you go. Yeah. Well, we're going to go for our second commercial break of the afternoon, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you about the big propaganda bomb that the U.S. is dropping all over ISIL stuff. Back in 2.
You've got it locked to New York's best talk, HTLA Radio 1.
Man, I've been to a lot of places over these past 50 years. Seen the whole true north strong and free. 'Cause I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Cooksville, Stouffville, Bainesville, Bowmanville, Bonnieville, Unionville, Oakville, Dunville, Brockville, Boucherville, Melville, Drummondville, Kentville, Grenville, Morinville, Maryville, Parksville, Stephenville, Sackville, Spring Hill, Westville, Walkerville, hanging on a windowsill. Hey! He said, wow. That's a lot of places. I said, hang on, there's more. I've been to Moncton, Picton, Shannon, Vernon, Stellarton, Hamilton, Nipigon, Nobleton, Yorkton, Brighton, Bolton, Beaverton, Brandon, Edmonton, Walkerton, Wyerton, Granby, Miramichi, Charlottetown, Burnaby, Yellowknife, Whitehorse, Corner Brook, none of it. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I crossed the prairies bare, man. I breathed the mountain air. I've traveled, I've done my share, man. I've been everywhere, man. Check it out. Ottawa, Wawa, Mattawa, Chippewa, Moose Jaw, Oshawa.
It could be 7 in the morning. Or 10 at night.
In Chilliwack, BC.
Or St. Peter's, Nova Scotia.
It could be Michelle.
Or Mark.
Or Jen.
But whenever, wherever you order that cup of Tim Hortons Premium Blend Coffee,
You know that it's always fresh.
From Newfoundland and Labrador to Vancouver Island, Tim Hortons, a coffee all our own.
You walked into the hotel as a 5. But when she saw the room, you turned into a weird 7. When she saw the rooftop pool, you went to 11. You two should probably get a room. Oh, that's right. You already did. At Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Some said the U.S. has lost its innovative power. We said America is lighting the way as the innovation nation. Singular insights, superior execution. That's the power of global connections. Bank of America Merrill Lynch. Voted top global research firm 2011, 12, and 13.
I've been so inspired by being in New York because everything from what people are wearing on the street to the way they're interacting with each other to drive through the West Village at night and you see a couple kissing on the street, or you see someone fighting outside their apartment, or you see so much humanity on a daily basis that even if you're not inspired by your own life that day, you can be inspired by someone else's life.
You got that long hair, slicked back, white t-shirt, and I got that good girl face and a tight little skirt. And when we go crashing down, we come back every time, 'cause we never go out of style. We never go out of style. Take me out.
There's only one place to get more Taylor. We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Look, we always had fun. I think that no matter what you do in life, if you do bodybuilding or if you do hosting a show like you do here, you got to have a good time. Forget about it. You got to be passionate about the job that you have and go all out.
I'm having a good time, but what the hell did you say?
Well, you got to be passionate all the time. You got to do all this and that and the next thing, and you got to do it because you got to get up and then you got to get down, and sometimes it's not good, and then you get down again, and then you go around and yeah.
So there you go. How's that? Did you like that?
Never.
No? Okay. I'll try again next time.
Yes.
Welcome back to the big show today. Coffee and cigarettes, a Thursday double-double. New York is best talk is right here. Yes, and I should do that in my Arnie.
Yes.
Yeah, I should. Okay.
Welcome back to Coffee and Cigarettes today. Welcome back to the show. It's HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk.
Yeah.
You like that? Yeah.
Yes.
The music is fantastic.
Oh, it is?
Oh, you got to hear it.
Well, I can't hear it right now because I'm busy and I get...
Well, what are you going to do when you live in that old shoe? You're sitting here this afternoon with Chris Crash, Jesus Taylor in the house, HTLA Studio 2. And our new phone number, gang, coming up, 1-914-873-1NYC. That's 1 New York City, the only one, HTLA Radio 1, coming up for you. Yeah, I'm going to be doing some call-ins on the old show here. Get some of you whack job listeners out there to...
Yeah.
And get you to come in and you can talk about things and you can do things. And
fantastic.
Wouldn't it be fantastic? Yeah, I think it would be fantastic.
I should do the whole show as Arnie. That's yeah. Well, without you, but I mean you're here now, right? So
yeah.
But I'm talking about you're not going to be on this show forever.
Yes.
So. When we finally bid adieu to you, Mr. Schwarzenegger, I will definitely do an entire Coffee and Cigarettes just in my Arnold.
I think you have sharks in both tanks.
Yeah.
Yes.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
Mm-hmm.
And put your name up there and dress in different stuff. So fantastic.
What?
If I can be of any help, let me know. So what's the email address?
Wait a minute, Louis. Dress in different stuff? I'm not a transsexual. Hell.
Yeah.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yeah, but I'm not writing it.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm going to move on because that's just what I'm going to do, and
I'll try to do my best, Nani, every time I get a chance. Yeah.
There we go. So, actually, before we move on, Arnold, you had a dream when you were a kid in Austria, pooping in the outhouse. What was that again?
Well, it's natural when you're a young kid and you're 15 years old and you say to your parents that you want to be the greatest bodybuilder in the world and you're going to eventually become a movie star and a millionaire, that they have a tendency of taking you to the shrink.
Well, yeah, and there's good reason for that. You'd be freaking nuts to do that. But you surpassed all the odds. You just gave it your all, and lo and behold, 7 Mr. Olympia titles and the movie man extraordinaire.
I was poor. because they didn't have anything.
Right.
I had no money, I had no things, we had no TV, we had no refrigerator, we had nothing as kids. But I was rich because I had a dream.
You see, it's all about the dream, gang. I'm telling you. You got to live the dream. Live that dream.
We were 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
Right.
And we didn't.
Of course not. Yeah. No. Well, moving on the show today, the big propaganda bomb has indeed been dropped on ISIL with casualties numbering in the zeros. Yeah. Yes, the Pentagon spent our hard-earned money today launching a propaganda program in Syria aimed at creating fissures along Islamic State fighters by dropping 60,000 leaflets at the center of the militants' power base. Way the hell out in the middle of frickin' nowhere in some desert somewhere. There you go. The leaflets depict recruits to the Islamic State. They also known as ISIS or ISIL being fed into a meat grinder. I guess that got that from Hustler. And the leaflets were created by personnel from Military Information Support Operations, previously known as CIA. Yeah. Well, it's trying to set the stage for an internal uprising against ISIS, said Nicholas Harris, an idiot who actually stuck his name to this. The leaflet drop represents the softer, less acknowledged side of the U.S. strategy to destroy the Islamic State. The U.S.-led coalition issues daily releases about the airstrikes against the Islamic State targets in Syria and Iraq that it has conducted since August, after militants gobbled up huge tracts of territory. You know, I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I think the American people would be a lot more happy dropping $500,000 bombs on these asses than paper leaflets. I'm just gonna go out on that limb there and say that. You know.
Power, that's why power is corrupt, and it is. We see it every day. We see it in every job. It's the same thing.
I know, Louis, but do you? You're just out there today. I don't know.
When you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that, it would be all over the place.
Well. Yeah, you don't have to worry, Arnold. Louis is not going to come after you.
Yeah.
No, he won't.
Never. No.
No, he wouldn't. He loves you. Well, the leaflet drop represents that softer side. The Pentagon is less forthcoming about the more than $1 billion it has spent on propaganda publications and broadcasts alone to influence attitudes and behavior in the Middle East. The military often shields its role in the efforts, including broadcasts in Afghanistan, because it fears U.S. backing of the messages would diminish their effect. Yeah, $1 billion. See, that's not even the bomb total, because we're dropping the bombs too, right? But no, this is just the leaflet drops, and I guess they've got a little Afghani is podcast or something. I don't know of any podcast that's $1 billion. Sorry.
Yes.
No. I mean, we spare no expense here at HTLA, but $1 billion? No. Yeah. So there you go, Americans. Yes, your government spending $1 billion to send out these leaflets. Yeah. The sign on the leaflet says Daesh Recruiting Office. Daesh is another name for the Islamic State. It also appears on the meat grinder. Another sign reads, now serving 6001. Yes, because of course the extremist Muslims will absolutely be completely familiar with McDonald's advertising. Yeah. Now serving 6001. And the man in the front of the line, of course, is dropping a ticket with that number. The military appears to be attempting to exploit reported problems within the ranks of foreign fighters who have flocked to Raqqa in the last year to fight for ISIL, said Jennifer Caffarella, an analyst at the Institute for the Study of War. Some of those militants have been reluctant to fight in the city of Kobani, on the border with Turkey, where U.S.-led airstrikes have killed hundreds of fighters. Hey, there's something, they're afraid of the bombs. You know, if you're afraid of the bombs, hey, let's keep using them. Yeah.
When you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that, it would be all over.
If you said that, well, actually, I'm going to make you say that. Where is it here? Hang on a sec. Oh, damn it, I've lost it. Son of a... Well, anyway, meantime, ISIL has also been producing weekly and daily news bulletins, possibly a reaction to counter U.S. propaganda, she said. The leaflet may have yet another aim, showing ordinary Syrians that the coalition is not forgotten about them, despite the focus on dislodging ISIL from cities such as Tikrit in Iraq, Harris said. One measure of the leaflet's effectiveness will be the number of attacks by Raqqa residents against ISIL. Yes, because they will rise up because you printed a little flyer. Well, and if that doesn't tick you off enough about how our money is getting spent, ladies and gentlemen, boy, do I have a story for you. If you're an American and a taxpayer, you're going to be mad. You're going to be angry. The reason I know this is because, well, I'm a Canadian and I'm angry. Yeah. Now, it seems I don't know if he is right now, but he's damn close. The richest man in the world there, Mr. Bill Gates of Microsoft, and his good buddy, not suffering either, Ben Affleck, are sitting in Senate hearings right now making a case for foreign aid. They want to send more money to Africa. Yeah. I'm guessing they're probably a little, upset about Ferguson. So they figure if they send more of our money to Africa, that'll even it out. Black lives will matter. Yeah. Well, cameras were clicking away today when Ben Affleck and Bill Gates were in Washington to testify about foreign aid. Yes, Ben Affleck, a freaking actor. Yeah. Oh, but as they put it here, the Oscar-winning director, actor, advocate. Yes, that's what he is now. He's not just a dumb actor. No. Well, he spoke before Senate Appropriations panel about his organization, the Eastern Congo Initiative, that is trying to transform the... Oh, wait, here it is. Are you ready for it? The coffee industry in the Congo. Bill Gates, the Microsoft founder and co-chairman of the world's largest private foundation, was seated next to Affleck and also testified about the importance of foreign aid. Oh, and here's an important side note. Affleck's actress wife, Jennifer Garner, was seated in the audience. Oh, okay. A side note for movie buffs who aren't into politics, which would be all the movie buffs. Yeah. Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy, the top Democrat in the Foreign Operations Subcommittee, is a huge Batman fan and has made cameos in many of the recent movies. Affleck stars in the upcoming Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which is really what this shitstorm is about. Well, yeah, Ben Affleck there, he's on Twitter. I'm back on Capitol Hill with Lindsey Graham on behalf of Eastern Congo. Yes, we're making a difference. We've got to send more of your tax dollars to Eastern Congo to help out these private coffee companies, which I have stocks in, because we're not making enough money, even though we're charging $14 a bag for coffee. Yeah. Wow. Here's my problem. What business does Bill Gates and not suffering financially Affleck doing in our Senate, actually sitting there and telling them that they want to send our tax dollars, more of our tax dollars, to Africa? If these guys cared about this so much, I think it's time for them to pony up. Don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's that's the deal. That's what's going on, and of course, I'm pissed about it. I'm just, and again, like I said, I'm Canadian,
yes.
So
Yeah.
but that's what they're doing, and it's not just that they're going and petitioning for our dollars to go down there, with the huge rack of problems this country faces domestically. We're gonna keep on pumping out money to freaking Africa, because that's what we got to do.
So I could see you feel very uncomfortable talking.
Are you okay?
Now there was another time you were when I know you're very secretive about your drug problem.
Yes.
Yes.
Extremely. In fact, I don't tell anybody. Thank you.
I remember being on your radio show in Chicago.
Yes, you've mentioned this before, Gilbert, and I don't have and never did have a radio show in Chicago, but thank you.
Yeah, and I remember we hung out afterwards and had a wild time.
Are we really going to do this again?
And I remember, too, when we were in the alleyway, pants zipped up.
Right.
There was this one, sleazy-looking guy who walked by, who was staring at us, and you turned around, and, he was a, what? What's your problem? And you said, you don't give a shit.
When you say that, you get away with it. If I would say that,
I would beat the heck out of you.
Yes.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a transvestite. I'd be beating up the Model 101.
And I remember, and this is why I feel I have a real connection with you, because in the alleyway, when that's the beginning,
yeah,
she bent over in the alleyway, and you inserted yourself,
of course,
and then she started to blow me. And my erection was kind of a semi-erection because I kept looking at you. So when you're standing there trying to get a blowjob and looking at it's really hard. And then I remember I had a hotel room, so we both went up there, and you went first. You are my opening act.
Yeah. Wow. You, man, you have gone above and beyond today,
yes.
my friend. Yes, you have. And I got to say, I appreciate the thought, but I have absolutely, I feel like I'm in the Senate hearing right now. I have absolutely no recollection of what you're talking about. Now, I don't have a clue. No.
And another time, you were going to buy drugs from your pusher.
Oh, of course.
And you were like a block away. And then somebody walked up to your pusher first and shot your pusher.
Of course. Yes, that's it, Gilbert. You've hit it right on the head.
Yes.
Yeah. See, thank you. That's wonderful. Well, I was actually going to finish off with the final story today, but since you've regaled us with that lovely tale,
yes,
I'm out of time. So, I want to thank everybody. Thank HTLA Radio 1, New York's Best Talk. Head on over to HTLARadio1.com. That's the number one, just like us. Check out all our shows over there. And thank you, of course, to Louis Lawless.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Well, and we're glad to have you here each and every day, sir. Also, the one, the only, outspoken and won't shut up.
Yes.
Gilbert Gottfried, of course. Thank you for being here again today, Gilbert.
Thank you for listening, and support the show for the love of God.
And of course, the one and the only Governor, Terminator, Arnold Ader, somebody Ader.
Yes.
The Terminator. Thank you for being here, Arnold. Great to have you on again. We'll look forward to tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, and I'll be back.
Of course you will.
Yes.
I'd like to remind you, a special edition Crash Talk is coming up tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, we're talking about the California having no choice but to let the Kill All the Gays ballot initiative go forward in the House. So I'll be ranting and raving on that one tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. Other than that, tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern again for another Coffee and Cigarettes, the Friday Frappuccino. All kinds of good stuff coming up for that show, too. Not the least of which is my Arnold Schwarzenegger. I got to love the Arnold. So we'll see you all here next time. Thank you, and get to the chopper.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.